What's your next Hollywood destination? Going to popular places to spend a vacation is cool, but have you ever thought about the most unexplored ones? Hello and welcome to the channel. We are presenting you with the 10 amazing unexplored places in the world. But before we get into the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel for more such awesome content and turn notifications on so you get notified every time we upload a new video. And at number 10, we have Palmerston Islands. How unexplored is it? Well, a supply ship visits the island only a couple of times a year. It's part of the island group known as the Cook Islands, connected by a coral reef. Because of the extremely remote location, a plane trip to Tahiti, then a boat trip from Tahiti to the island is required in order to reach there. Palmerston is infrequently visited by the outsiders, but it's the only island in the group that's known to be inhabited. Over the years, shipwrecks have occurred due to the coral reef being difficult to see, which is connecting the island. It was first discovered in 1774 by British explorer Captain James Cook, but he couldn't land on the island until 1777. According to the 2016 Cook Island census, there are only 58 people living on the island. At number 9, Gangkhar Puensum. Well known by the title as the tallest unclimbed mountain, Gangkhar Puensum holds the 9th position in this list. Standing tall at a height of 24,836 feet above sea level, the mountain is situated on the border of Bhutan and China. No one has ever climbed this mountain, and now the national law of Bhutan restricts mountaineers from climbing a mountain higher than 6,000 meters, while Gangkhar Puensum is more than 7,500 meters. Bhutanese consider mountains to be extremely sacred and home to gods and spirits. There have been 4 serious attempts to climb the mountain, but all of them failed due to high winds, heavy snowfall, and the final ridge leading to its snowy dome. A Japanese group also tried to climb this mountain from its Chinese side in 1999, but the government of Bhutan persuaded China to withdraw the permit. And with that being said, the Gangkhar Puensum might remain unclimbed forever. Number 8. Vale Do Javari. An isolated Amazonian village situated near Brazil's border with Peru, Vale Do Javari is a perfect example of an amazing unexplored place because it has the highest concentration of isolated indigenous peoples in the world. A video showing aerial footage of the tribe in Vale Do Javari, captured using a drone, was released by the National Indian Foundation in August of 2018. The video contains what is believed to be the first look at the remote tribe, which had no known contact with the outside world. The video was taken without the consent of the subjects, raising ethical questions about their rights. Brazilian law states that contact with isolated tribes can be used only as a last option to preserve the life of isolated tribes. On the 7th spot, we have a volcanic island which is only open to researchers, Surtsey. It was formed from volcanic eruptions between 1963 and 1967, according to UNESCO. It's located off the southern coast of Iceland. According to Atlas Obscura, the island has only ever been open to highly trained scientists, and it's also described by UNESCO as being free from human interference. The name is derived from Surtur, the fire god in Icelandic mythology, and ever since its creation, the island's progress has been studied by volcanologists, botanists, and biologists, which makes Surtsey one of the most filmed and researched islands. From weather observations, a weather station is installed on Surtsey along with a webcam. From an evolutionary point of view, the island provides a unique, fascinating insight into how a new island develops, along with the evolution of flora and fauna. After mountains, islands, and volcanoes, we have something different: the Southern Namib. It's not only largely unexplored, but it's also one of the driest places on Earth. It's believed to not have much vegetation and is estimated to be one of the oldest deserts in the world. Some parts average just 2 millimeters or 0.8 inches of rain a year. And one thing which catches travelers every time is the strange climate, because as you drive from Namibia's interior to the sand dune coast, the blast of cold air and rolling mist can be deeply unsettling, even otherworldly sometimes. And this may sound a little weird, but a small population of desert lions resides here. They nearly fell extinct during the 1980s, but the population has remarkably recovered, with 180 to 200 lions thought to survive. Not only lions, but rhinos and elephants are also found there. And the sand dunes of the desert are epic. Even just one close look at the sand dunes of the Namib Desert is enough to make most visitors understand that these sand dunes are massive. And this was the amazing desert on the list. Extending from China, Burma to Thailand, the Salween River is one of Southeast Asia's longest rivers. Although river basins account for more than 10 million people living there, but much more about the Salween River is still unknown. Salween, called Nu or Nu Jiang, has been offered for a progression of tremendous dams that would hypothetically give more power than Three Gorges Dam, at present the world's biggest hydroelectric station. Producing dams on the Salween would involve flooding hundreds of villages and towns, and the reduced flow of the lower Salween would cause seawater to invade inland, making the lower Salween Valley unsuitable for growing crops. Situated in the middle of the Pacific Ocean and more than 3,000 miles away from any continent, the Pitcairn Islands is the least populated territory in the world. Only 50 people call this island home. The Pitcairn Island officially became a British territory in 1838. Tony Prope, sailor and photographer, had visited the Pitcairn Islands 4 times since 2011, and residents have dubbed him the island's ambassador. Located in the South Pacific, the British Pitcairn Islands include 4 small volcanic islands, and out of these, only Pitcairn is inhabited. You can get an estimate of its size by comparing it to Manhattan Central Park. They are nearly the same in area. Polynesians were the first to settle on Pitcairn, and there are also ancient petroglyphs on the south side of the island. And on the right side of these petroglyphs, one sandy beach can be seen. The landscape is green and has rugged cliffs. Other than the beautiful view you get in the daytime, Pitcairn is a perfect place for sky gazing as there's no pollution to block the view. What would be the most common cause of death on such an island? It's only due to old age. And then too, most people on Pitcairn live up to 90 years old, all thanks to the pollution-free environment. At number 3, it's described as the polar desert by NASA and is the largest uninhabited island on Earth, Devon Island. It's located in the Canadian Arctic, entirely covered with ice. No human has inhabited the island since 1930 or 1940s due to the extreme temperatures and conditions. However, it is used by NASA for research. The island is considered to have similar conditions as that of Mars, so NASA's teams use Devon Island for testing their equipment and spacesuits before actually using them on Mars. It's surrounded by 2 of the world's largest islands on both sides, Baffin and Ellesmere. In recent, it's only been inhabited twice, firstly in the 1930s by Inuit hunters and in the 1940s by Mounties, but both left as it was too cold for them. The Devon Islands even has some vegetation and some wildlife in a small area on the northeast coast which is relatively warm and moist. Due to the high summer temperatures of 8 degrees Celsius, there occurs 50 days of snow-free ground. Musk oxen graze whole year on some moss which grows due to the poor drainage in the lowlands. The island also has a few bird population. And that's it for our Mars on Earth. Now let's move on to number 2. And at number 2, we have a part of Andaman Islands in the Indian Ocean which has remained virtually untouched. We're talking about North Sentinel Island. In spite of the fact that in the 1960s and 70s, some documentary film crews, anthropologists, and researchers have visited the place, but not much else is known about the North Sentinel. It's believed that this remote island is inhabited by the indigenous people of the North Sentinel, known as Sentinelese, and they've been isolated for a long time. There are probably 80 to 150 Sentinelese living on the island, although it could be as high as 500 or as low as 15 too. Sentinelese don't like their life to be interrupted by outsiders, and this has been proven by many incidents. They killed and buried the remains of 2 Indian fishermen in 2006. After the 2004 tsunami, when Indian Coast Guard helicopters flew over the island, Sentinelese were found in good shape, and they weren't pleased at being seen, so they attacked the helicopter with bows and arrows. All of this clearly proves why the government decided to leave them unexplored and uncontacted, and that's the reason why this is such a great pick for the list. If we simply think about the most unexplored place ever, we have Antarctica, and there are several facts to support that. The Antarctic ice sheet is the biggest mass of ice in the world, and it can sometimes be even up to 4 miles thick. The well-known dry valleys in Antarctica are the driest places on Earth. In addition, it's the windiest place on Earth as well. It's believed by researchers that if Antarctic ice sheets were to melt, it would raise the global sea level by 16 feet. The Ross Ice Shelf, the largest ice shelf that has ever been discovered, extends off the continent's main landmass, and it encompasses more than 510,000 square kilometers. Do you know there's a hidden lake under the ice sheet in Antarctica? Lake Vostok, a freshwater lake that is buried under 4 kilometers of frozen water, and it's a fascinating geographic feature about this place. Despite the continent's frigid conditions, there's a volcano having held liquid magma for eons. It's the southernmost active volcano in the world, Mount Erebus. Currently, there are 80 research stations situated around the continent, operated by 30 different countries. One more interesting fact about Antarctica is that the deep lake is so salty that it cannot freeze, even in the minus 15 degrees Celsius. Which one was your favorite place of all? Do let us know in the comments section. Subscribe to the channel for more awesome videos like this one, and turn notifications on so you get notified whenever we upload a new video. And we'll see you guys in the next one.